for that to be our favorite show, and it's not even in this country, you know what I'm saying? And that's not like because we're trying to overindulge in they shit. It's because they really with us out there. The cold came back off the mothership, no less Zeppelin, that shit is ridiculous. Moving work through Cincinnati on the big 4 bridges. 2 bitches, they bridging it, they both can't stand it, they got me leaving them living. Money taller than Matumbo, your pockets is midgets. Slam dunk off the pivot, the shrimp be turning the boys to minnows to Michael Bivins.
And the split got me blessed like that quality track. They crucify you when you say something real. For more time like Fab, I would trade it all. Made a promise, next bag, I'ma save it all. I believe that we're more than we possess. Phone posits on the feet, a couple G's for this thing on my neck. Making progress while I always relapse. The bag came.
What's going on? It's your boy YL, coming straight from Chelsea, Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? Represent the Triple R clique.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Stalker LTD, Big Brooklyn, living the dream, living type dangerous, long-term damages, big bad Puerto Rican, fire breathing dragon, waves having on my bitch's tail wagon. You already know what it is, nigga.
When I started making music, like I already had homies that was making music, so naturally like my music was kind of like in a similar lane. Like I was bumping like a lot of like Flying Lotus, Jay Dilla, like Nas, Wu-Tang, and like he said, bro, it's just kind of the natural path that you take. You know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily like thinking I'm trying to make this type of song. You just kind of like, you know what do you call it? Like the sounds that attract you. You know what I'm saying? Me and Starks met like, I don't know, maybe like 12 years ago now. Just through like mutual friends, like back when I think like he was like living in Queens and I was just chilling in Queens a lot. I just had a lot of homies out there. And it was just like some mutual friend shit. I think we met at a party, like some basement party in Queens, and he was already making music with one of my other homies. So I had already like heard about him and shit, but I never actually met him. And then like he had the story goes that like he sold me bud and I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't feeling the amount type of shit.
That's what happened.
Yeah. But after that, it was funny because like, I didn't really like see much of him like after that for like, I don't know, like, but that was just the first time I met him. And then I started going to school for audio engineering, and funny enough, like he had one friend that was also going to the same school at the same time as me. So it was just like he would pull up after school and shit, and like we would just burn, and like we went to my crib and like we just really started making music from like the first time we hung out type of shit. Just I don't know.
Shout out to Leandro. That's a mutual friend, Leandro. I met him at a basement party. Somebody told me, oh, my boy needed weed. My boy Eric. Well, Mid.
Shout
out to Mid, original member of the Triple R. So he told, I was working with him originally. He's the first thing you hear on my first album, USA. The first voice you hear is Mid. So we was at a basement party, bitches dancing, all types of shit. Lights dim, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't really see anybody's face. And Mid just walks up to me in a Montclair, and he's like, yo, my boy need he needed a dub. And I was like, I bet. So weed was in a Ziploc back then. Even a dub is vintage. Like, niggas buy eighths now. So I had the weed in my pocket, like a bunch of nuggets. It was like fucking some type of kush or some shit. I remember that like yesterday. So I fucking break out like one nugget. And I already knew kind of what it weighed. Like I already knew like each nugget was damn near a gram. So I gave him a nugget. And it was dense weed. You know what I'm saying? And like I put it in his hand and he was like, that's not a dub. I said, it's not a dub. I'll take it back. And then he was like, all right, fuck it. And then I gave it back to him. And then like I didn't hear from him. And like he said, we never really like seen each other much after. But then once Leandro enrolled in fucking the Institute of Audio Research, like he said, I would just pull up after school, smoke, chill, and then we would find ourselves here, which is in Wiles.
Yeah.
What was the apartment at the time? Or how did that go?
36.
Yeah,
36.
So apartment 36. We would be in here making music on the daily, and then like it just turned into like a rhythm.
Yeah.
Where I was like every day I would go to school, go here, come here, smoke weed, make music, and then
once I graduated, it was like he was pulling up like every day type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And we would just. Yeah, I don't even think we wasn't on some like, yo, we gonna cook up today. We're just like, all right, let's link. And then we already knew we were gonna make like 2-3 joints, go get some food, play basketball or some shit, come back, work on some more shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool. It was just like, oh shit, like I found like another new homie that like is into the same shit I'm into, and that's what it was. You know, that was like the glue. You know what I'm saying?
Word, because that shit was, especially back then, that was hard to find. Like, it was very rare. If you found somebody that liked the same things as you, it was like, oh shit. Like, you gotta like stop for a second and just like appreciate one another, because motherfuckers wasn't. I think around that time, what was popular might have been, I wouldn't say French Montana. I don't know what it was. I don't know. What, ASAP. Yeah, like around that time, everybody was bumping that. So if you find somebody that was bumping what we was bumping, like, oh, Capadonna, The Struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like his artist album. You know what I'm saying? This nigga knows Capadonna word for word. I know Capadonna word for word. Capadonna is like a real Wu fan's favorite. Like, not everybody really understands him. And then eventually, like, when you really, really listen, you're like, oh shit, this nigga Capadonna is Wu-Tang. Everything that he does and says is like, he's like the purest form, like 100% Wu-Tang. Everybody else is like just like little pieces of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little shit like that. You know what I mean? Like you realize like, all right, like I got a like-minded person here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's see where this goes. And we've been friends ever since.
And you will know my name is the Lord.
Come on. Yeah. That's why. Come on. Look, I show you love off the string. Shorty fly like Hillary Banks. Don't wait for holiday season to give me things. 30,000 feet over and why? Gotta eat to survive. Used to dub me, now they calling me why? Smoke half the blunt on Instagram live. This life is what it is. Cats looking up to me like they my kids. Don't ask what I pay for the kicks. Kid, I used to smoke Nicks, and I don't care. I'm still rocking with the Knicks. Say yo, some things never switch. Making hits like I'm Ken Griff, shining like a diamond at a tips. Where we going next? Every year we knocking shit off of the list. You ain't even gotta tell me I'm convinced.
Rolling like a nice box, selling those on the block, no block, Chicago White Sox. It's MC with the hammer, making MC light as a rock. Got the game on lock, about to throw a rollie on my neck like Flavor with the clock. Running with the Hawks, no Mookie Blaylock. I do you disrespectful just to stay on top. You an intermediate, but I'm a professional up in this game of hip hop. Scratch the cereal on the guy like tracks from the disc jock. Read the bullets and spin out the barrel like it's Fibonacci. That ain't philosophical, but represents at the top of you like stop. Triple R, you heard?
2023 all year, you know what I'm saying?
But really, like, after we put out our first mixtape together, like in 2015, like, yeah, bro, like it's been a hot minute. Once it was getting bootlegged in Japan, that's when I think like there was like a bigger realization of like, you know, this shit is bigger than, you know, making this shit in my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? This shit is like taking a life of its own.
Yeah, shit got crazy. So we were making music just on SoundCloud, like just like dropping shit. Yeah, that's it. It was around the time that, like, you know, SoundCloud was prevalent. Like a lot, yeah, free music. SoundCloud artists, you could say, was even, yeah, that was an era, right? Like when you your favorite song, you had to go on SoundCloud and keep the thing open and the whole shit like that. Like, so we were just doing it on some humble shit, and then on Instagram, I was getting like interactions with people from Japan, like from the, and I was like, the fuck is going on with this? Like, it would bug me out. Like every other day, somebody from Japan would add both of us. It got to the point that even Japanese people were using us as their Avi. Like, it was bugged out shit that I was just like, yo, not for nothing, they really fuck with us out there. So then, like, I was in a relationship, maybe like 2 years into the album, like, yeah, so the album came out in 2015, 2016, 2017. I was already 2 years into a relationship with my baby mother, and she bought me a flight to Japan for like Valentine's Day or some shit. Yeah, like she OD'd. She was like, she used to hear me say in passing that like, I want to go there. There's people that fuck with me out there, and that stuck with her, and she bought me the ticket. Yeah, so she put it together with one fan that I was mentioning at the time named Dicey. Like, she hit him up, and she would be like, oh, do you think it's a good idea for Starks to go to Japan? And he was like, if he comes to Japan, I'll put a show together for him. So it ended up turning from just like a gift to like an obligation to perform out there. And I never even did a show out here on my own, like that I was headlining. So I went out there and I was running around with my baby mother, and then we went into one of these stores that a lot of people go to out there called Plug in this city called Morioka. So Morioka is like Philly. Like if you come to New York and then you want to go to somewhere that's like in America but not New York, you go to Philly, and you know what I'm saying, you see like the way people live in other parts of America. Like Morioka is like that for Japan. Like it's just like almost like a countryside, like less interrupted part of Japan. And when we was out there, I went into this mixtape store, and they had fucking bootlegs, like real bootlegs of our work. Like it was like his album with Mid that they did called Old Soul. They had it, yeah, like the way you would buy mixtapes back in the day in the little flat
casing, you know what I'm saying, with the blank disc. They had that shit like that. Like they were burning on shit and selling it and making money. I was taking on a sound that wasn't glamorous back then. You know what I'm saying? Like my favorite rappers weren't necessarily the most decorated and appreciated artists of their time. Like Ill Bill, Underground. You know what I'm saying? Like Capadonna, you could say people, like I said, people don't appreciate him. Killer Sim, all these artists that I'm listening to, even back then, like Black Star and all this shit, that was an underground scene then, and I'm doing it now, so I already know. All right, you know, this is a work of like passion. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't for the money, because it never was. There was never money in that scene back then. I didn't. West Side Gun is an anomaly as far as like somebody that could rap the way he does and pull figures that he. Because aside from him, we really never seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, ain't nobody rapping like that and making real money.
I feel like that's where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like to know like Triple R, Wild and Stalker is like, you love Wild and Stalker. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's again grassroots, because like there's people that are like, yo, I used to go to high school and like bump your shit from in America and in Japan. There's people that told us that literally, like, yo, I would go to high school and listen to your music on my way and shit like that, and I grew up with it and all types of shit.
Yeah,
you know
we get the craziest messages. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got me through this crazy period in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like through deaths and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know the impact is deep. You know what I'm saying?
You could have 100,000 people that fuck with you at the moment, like every artist now, but then like they can't really come out with physical things, and people are gonna indulge in it. Like,
we got people tatting the logo on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true. People want to be a part of this any way they can. So if it means buying a shirt and running around and being the one person in your neighborhood that has that triple RT or some shit, then.
But like, just in general, like, and to make a long story short, we want the backing of major or like, you know, distribution or things like that. So like, I feel like now we're in those conversations with these, you know, the people that maintain some type of budget, and you know, they have like the analytics of your activity and shit like that, like people that really take your work as their job, like, you know what I mean? So if that happens, then that's pretty much all I was looking for, because like I said, I knew what I was getting into the whole time. So that's the level of professionalism. That's like, okay, now you can't talk to me, you got to talk to my manager, and my manager has to clear everything with, you know, his superiors as far as like what our albums are gonna sound and look like. And that doesn't mean that I'm willing to give away my creative right. It just means that I'm trying to be taken more serious on a professional level. You could put money in anybody's hands, you know what I'm saying? It's like that old saying, like, you ever heard the story between a fool and his money? It's like, soon to be departed, you know what I mean? Like, people are gonna fuck the money up, but if you're good with the money, and you know, and the thing is with us is we're so self-sufficient and polished as artists. I feel like once they put the money in our hands, all we're gonna do is just amplify what we're already doing. It's just gonna look even better. We go places and like, we be having more fun than we're supposed to. It feels like
in the middle of America,
yeah, like people that
Kansas
work,
City shit.
People that
like,
work in the hotel, and they be annoyed by us. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're just having a ball. You know what I'm saying? Any city we go to, like, it'd be like the most miserable town in the world. You know what I'm saying? And we be just finding fun and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, those do be the best trips.
Those
I'm
be
not
the
gonna
best.
lie. Like those are like just, they feel like side missions sometimes. Like, you know what I'm
Word.
saying? Like, but nah, I just want to keep traveling. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to hit everywhere. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? State to state, Europe. Go back to Asia, you know what I'm saying? Maybe do like South Korea or something like that, you know? Like this past tour that we did in July, in Japan, we did 2 Tokyo shows, but the first one that we did, which was like the second show on the tour, was fucking nuts. Yo, it was like the whole, by the time we got there to the show, the shit was already filled the fuck up.
we couldn't even get to the stage.
Outside of the venue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like into the hallway type of shit. All of our merch was basically sold out by the time we got back to the venue after sound check. The energy was just so high the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was not one dull moment. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot, like, for people in Japan, because they're so like, they're very like
reserved.
Yeah, like meek. You know what I'm saying? But they was dumbing out the whole time, like. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you felt it too. It's just like, yo, you're just matching their energy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for that to be our favorite show, and it's not even in this country. You know what I'm saying? And that's not like because we're trying to overindulge in they shit. It's because they really fuck with us out there. So like everybody in the crowd looked like us. You know what I'm saying? Like they look like any of them niggas could have jumped on stage and started rapping with us and you wouldn't have thought nothing because them niggas had the jersey on. They had the hat. We was in the jersey hat, fan, jersey hat.
They knew what the program was.
Yeah.
Like all the promotion was like us in like rocking jerseys and shit, right? So everyone at the show was just rocking a throwback with a fucking fitted on. You know what I'm saying?
Good ones though, like the right one. Like I'm just like, damn, these niggas is cool. Like my fans was cool. Like taking a picture with them, I was like, shit look dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that ass.
You know my block is the greatest, put up to the ball, you ain't seen it. You look like a baller, probably need it. This is a Dixon, I really mean it. You want the original remix? I got the kettle, me, I'm as a kid, I'm ready to dream. Make some fucking noise. Japan, we love you. Tokyo, thank you.